You're welcome to the AAU TV Mid-Week News. We are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities. My name is Maame, Atuakoa, Nyame, and now in our top stories, Nigeria forms committee to renegotiate 2009 university agreement to end strike. And in health, African mental health systems show gradual progress, calls for increased effort. Egypt raises fuel prices by 17% amid inflation. Talks on Ukraine conflict amid rising nuclear tensions. Now you're welcome once again to the AAU TV Midweek News. Stay with us. We will be back after this break. In an effort to prevent further industrial action in Nigeria's public universities, the federal government has established a 7-member committee tasked with renegotiating the 2009 agreement with university-based unions, including the Academic Staff Union of the Universities, ASU. The aim of this move is to address long-standing issues that have caused repeated disruptions in the country's higher education system, with the goal of ensuring a more stable academic environment and averting future strikes.
The committee will succeed where others have failed. While ASU is open to Minister of Education, Professor Tahiru Maman, officially inaugurated the committee on October 14th in Abuja. The panel has 3 months to finalize negotiations and produce agreements that holistically address Nigeria's universities' challenges. This initiative seeks to reposition the higher education sector to better contribute to national development. The committee, led by Dr. Mahmood Yayele Ahmed, chairperson of the Committee of Pro-Vice Chancellors of Nigeria Federation Universities, is expected to work closely with university unions, including ASU, the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities, SANU, and the Non-Academic Staff of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, and the National Association of Academic Technologies, NAT. Ahmed called on all unions to fully cooperate in the process. This latest initiative marks the 4th attempt at renegotiating the 2009 agreement, which initially sought to resolve critical issues facing public universities, including funding and allowances for lecturers and university autonomy. Previous efforts have not yielded lasting solutions, with ASU and other unions frequently protesting the lack of implementation. ASU President Professor Emmanuel Osodeke expressed caution optimism, hoping that this new committee will succeed where others have failed. While ASU is open to renegotiation, unions such as SANU and NASU voiced concern, fearing that the process might again favor academic staff over non-teaching personnel. Both unions urged the government to treat all parties equally in the negotiation. Public affairs analyst Jide Ojo criticized the government's approach, arguing that more urgency is needed to address the nation's deteriorating educational system. He emphasized the importance of capturing these issues in the upcoming 2025 budget to ensure the country's future human capital development. Ojo stressed that without proper funding and attention to education, Nigeria's progress in industrialization and technological advancement will continue to lag.
Meanwhile, in mid-September, the United Nations Summit of the Future reinforced its dedication to the 2030 agenda by launching the Pact for the Future, aimed at tackling critical global challenges. While higher education institutions were not directly highlighted during the summit, their role remains crucial in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Higher education continued to be key players in driving research, innovation and education necessary for the successful implementation of the SDGs and the overall advancement of global sustainability efforts.
The Pact of the Future is a comprehensive, action-oriented document boosted by the Global Digital Compact and the Declaration on future generations. While the pact does not directly reference higher education institutions, it emphasizes on diversity, social cohesion, internationalization, and reducing inequality aligns with the core values and objectives of universities. The International Association of Universities, AAU, is urging higher education institutions to take a proactive role in these areas going beyond the pact's call to action. Articles within the pact are especially relevant to the higher education sector. Article 14 stresses the importance of diversity and combating discrimination, while Article 30C highlights the need for intercultural and interreligious dialogue to foster social cohesion. University campuses, often melting pots of different cultures and religions, are uniquely positioned to advance these goals. The IAU advocates for universities to promote internationalization, enabling students to grow as global citizens and engage in research that address global challenges. The pact also touches on educational programs' role in preventing brain drain and promoting talent mobility, key areas for higher education institutions. Universities contribute significantly to global talent exchange, and the IAU encourages balanced mobility to address brain drain and promote international cooperation. Sustainable development, a central theme in the 2030 agenda, is closely linked to higher education. A recent IAU Global Survey showed that many higher education institutions connect internationalization with sustainable development, using this as a tool to achieve the SDGs. In a world grappling with increasing inequalities, higher education institutions are vital in reversing these trends through research, international collaborations, and partnerships. The IAU continues to support open access to research and collaborative projects like the Interact Africa project, which nurtures skills for climate change mitigation and bioeconomy. As global challenges mount, universities can be critical catalysts for change in achieving the SDGs and advancing objectives of the pact for the future.
Now, in health, over the past decade, African countries have made notable progress in enhancing their mental health systems with increased investment in healthcare services, workforce development, and implementation of national policies. Despite these advancements, more efforts are needed to accelerate progress and tackle ongoing challenges that continue to affect mental health and well-being across the region.
Key achievements include a 14% rise in the ratio of mental health specialists to population from 2014 to 2020, and the introduction of mental health care training for primary health care workers in 79% of African countries. Government expenditure on mental health also increased significantly during this period, rising from $0.1 to $0.46 per capita. Yet, challenges such as poor awareness, stigma, and limited financial investment continue to hinder progress. A report from the World Health Organization African region highlights that 28% of the region's countries have integrated mental health and psychological support into their preparedness plans for future health crises. Additionally, 3/4 of the countries have national mental health policies and 57% have mental health laws aligned with international human rights standards, up from 31% in 2014. However, access to mental health services remained insufficient, with inadequate financial support and poor integration of mental health into primary care. Dr. Mashidiso Moheti, WHO Regional Director for Africa, emphasized the urgency of accelerating efforts to promote and protect mental health. WHO has been working closely with governments to decentralize mental health services, integrate them into primary care, and promote a rights-based approach. Notably, countries like Ghana and Zimbabwe have already implemented such programs, while early childhood mental health initiatives are underway in Kenya, Mozambique, and Tanzania. As part of broader efforts to improve mental health, African countries endorsed the 2022 Regional Framework to strengthen the implementation of the Comprehensive Mental Health Action Plan 2013 to 2030. The framework focuses on multi-sectoral collaboration, suicide prevention, stigma reduction, and policy reforms. Despite progress, only 8 of 47 countries in the region have work-related mental health programs, reflecting the need for continued investment and coordination across sectors to ensure better mental health outcomes across Africa.
Please stick with us for news on Discovery after this short break.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
You're welcome back from the break. And in Discovery, US-based BG Titan Group has launched a groundbreaking $650 million
The Titan E-Farms initiative will expand beyond Uganda to other East African nations, including Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. The project, which combines sustainable technologies to reduce agricultural waste and emissions, is designed to address both solar and hydrogen technologies. The project will support farming operations and provide surplus energy to local communities. In addition to its environmental benefits, the Titan E-Farms project is expected to have a significant economic impact. The initiative will create over 5,000 direct jobs in areas such as farming, technology, and energy production, along with numerous indirect opportunities. The circular farming model, Titan Air, will play a key role in decarbonizing the agricultural cycle by capturing CO2 and methane emissions, converting them into algae, which can be used as fertilizer and fish feed. A critical component of the Titan E-Farms initiative is its integration of agri-solar practices, which combine agricultural cultivation with solar energy production. This approach not only supports food production but also contributes to sustainable energy generation, further reinforcing the project's goal of creating an eco-friendly agricultural model. Ayman Bungami, CEO of BG Titan Group, expressed confidence in the project's ability to address Uganda's agricultural and energy needs while creating jobs and supporting local communities. The initiative comes at a time when investment in climate tech across Africa is rising rapidly, with $1.1 billion in funding recorded in 2023. Despite this, some African climate startups face financial challenges, highlighting both the opportunities and risks in the sector.
Stick with us for news in sports and entertainment. Now in sports, Congolese defender Chancel Mbemba has rejoined Olympique de Marseille professional squad for the first time since his suspension in mid-July. The club announced his return on Thursday, sharing the news through a video on its social media platform. Mbemba's reintegration into the team marks a significant step after being sidelined for several months through his long-term future, where the club remains uncertain.
Mbemba, who spent much of the summer sidelined and away from the team, is now back following an international break where he led the DR Congo national team to 2 victories against Tanzania. The defender returns to find a few familiar faces alongside several new teammates. Despite this reinstatement, OM's head coach, Roberto Di Zerbi, downplayed expectations at a press conference on Friday. He emphasized that fans should not anticipate any miracles from Mbemba, implying his role within the squad might be limited in the coming months. Mbemba's summer absence and extended period away from the team have raised questions about his future at the club. While his return to training is a positive sign, the overall direction of his career at OM remains in doubt. Although Chancel Mbemba is once again part of the squad, his long-term position with Olympique de Marseille remains uncertain. For now, it seems the club's decision to bring him back may be more for appearance than a sign of significant involvement for the remainder of the season.
In entertainment, the Art Explorer Foundation, in collaboration with the Louvre Museum and the Pompidou Center in Paris, organized a traveling festival that brought a unique art experience in the shores of Morocco. A museum boat featuring digital masterpieces, including Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, was moored at the Bougreg Quay in Rabat, offering Moroccans a chance to explore global art in a new way.
This traveling festival, which made its Moroccan stop as part of a large tour around the Mediterranean, featured exhibition highlighting human interactions with the sea and cultural exchange in the region. The event attracted art lovers from across the country, with organizers expecting up to 2,000 visitors daily. The floating museum measured 47 meters in length and 18 meters in width, with a towering 55-meter mast, provided a novel experience for attendees. Visitors entering the group of 20 to 30 had 45 minutes to explore the artwork. The museum boat exhibition featured over 30 artists from around the world, offering a diverse range of contemporary global art. Selma Bensouada, who coordinates the Moroccan stopover of the Art Explorer Foundation, emphasized the significance of the project with its free access to offer culture to as many people as possible. The goal is to promote culture, whether local or international, to people who do not usually have access to it. Rabat resident Basma, one of the many attendees, expressed her enthusiasm for the unique concept of the museum as a very refreshing concept and is also new here in Morocco. The Art Explorer Festival, which was first inaugurated in Marseille, France in June, is set to tour 20 ports across 15 countries in the Mediterranean by the end of 2026. As part of its mission, the festival aims to make art more accessible, bringing both global and regional culture to diverse audiences who may not have the opportunity to visit traditional museums.
Looking for a job in higher education institution on the African continent? There is no need to go looking. The Africa Education Jobs Board will deliver available jobs to you via our platform. To start your search, visit our website. On our website, you will find variety of job postings classified by the sectors and professions they belong to. There are sections devoted to variety of career-related materials, as well as information on African countries. All information you require, based on the job description and requirements, are accessible on the site. If you are looking for a job in higher education on the continent, use our dedicated portal, www.africa.edujobs.com. For job market updates, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AF Jobs Board.
In business, the Egyptian government has increased fuel prices from 10% to 17%, a move that is expected to raise the cost of goods and services nationwide. The price hikes come at a time when Egyptians are already grappling with rising inflation and escalating daily living expenses, further adding to the economic pressures faced by households across the country.
The government stated the decision, announced via Facebook post, was necessary to reduce gap between selling price of petroleum products and their high production and import cost. This is the third fuel price increase in 2023, with previous hikes in March and July. Under the new price and effective Friday, the cost of a litre of diesel heavily used in public transport rose from 11.5 Egyptian pounds, that is $0.23, to 13.50 pounds, that is $0.25. The price of 92-octane gasoline increased to 15.25 pounds to 13.75 pounds. These increases follow a prior 10% fuel price hike in July, compounded by rising subway fares and depreciation of the Egyptian pound against foreign currencies. The government has linked these fuel price hikes to broader economic pressure, including high cost of importing energy and a weakening local currency, exacerbated by global fuel price surge due to instability in the Red Sea region. Egypt secured an $8 billion bailout deal in the International Monetary Fund earlier this year, with a fuel price hike seen as part of efforts to meet the IMF's condition for continued financial assistance. While the measures aim to stabilize the economy, many Egyptians are grappling with the impact of rising costs on their daily lives as inflation continues to escalate.
On international front, Russian President Vladimir Putin has signaled Morocco's willingness to engage in discussions aimed at resolving the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Speaking during a meeting with media representatives from BRICS nation, however, he issued a stern warning against Ukraine pursuing nuclear weapons, describing it as a dangerous provocation that would trigger a corresponding response from Russia.
Amid these developments, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has faced accusations of suggesting Ukraine might seek nuclear capabilities if denied NATO membership. Zelensky firmly denied these claims, stressing that Ukraine has no plans to develop nuclear arms and accusing certain media outlets for spreading misinformation. Putin's remarks on nuclear weapons come in response to rising concerns over Ukraine's security stance, as Zelensky has repeatedly called for stronger international backing to counter Russian aggression. In a recent address to European Union leaders, Zelensky emphasized Ukraine's need for a powerful deterrent, reiterating that NATO membership would provide the security and stability. Zelensky also invoked the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, under which Ukraine surrounded its nuclear arsenal in exchange for guarantees of its territorial integrity and security. He argued that Kyiv's push for NATO membership is justified given the threats posed by Russia's ongoing military operations. However, Zelensky made it clear that Ukraine is not considering nuclear armament and that his focus remains on strengthening international alliances and securing further military support. On the diplomatic front, Putin expressed support for peace initiatives proposed by China and Brazil, suggesting that these plans could lay the groundwork for negotiations. Nonetheless, he firmly ruled out any negotiations regarding the status of the 4 Ukrainian regions, Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia, that Russia annexed in September 2022 following controversial referendums not recognized by Ukraine or much of the international community. The ongoing conflict has placed significant strain on global diplomatic efforts, with peace talks remaining elusive. While Putin's remarks indicate a potential opening for discussions, the deep divisions over territorial integrity and Ukraine's NATO ambitions continue to hinder progress toward a lasting resolution.
That is all for the news, and thank you. Let's take a quick recap of our headlines. In higher education, Nigeria forms committee to renegotiate 2009 university agreement to end strike. In health, African mental health systems show critical and gradual progress, calls for increased effort. In business, Egypt raises fuel prices by 17% amid inflation crisis. And in international, Putin open to talk on Ukraine conflict amid rising nuclear tensions. And I thank you once again for sticking with us on the AAU TV Mid-Week News. My name is Maame Ekua, Atuakoa, Nyame. Good afternoon to you from Ghana.